It's your boy Eli, and this is the E&Kidd podcast. And today, man, we are talking about Zach Wilson and the truth about the New York Jets. But before I get into the video, make sure to hit the like button. You guys hitting the like button just pushes the YouTube algorithm out there, so we'll be able to reach more people and more people are able to see the video that you have just saw. Also, do not forget to comment below and subscribe. Now, back to the video. That's right. I am calling out the New York Jets. We are talking about Zach Wilson and the truth about the New York Jets. So, if you all been watching, we had some reports come out that Zach Wilson has looked horrible during training camp. Now, usually this wouldn't be a problem if he was chosen in the 3rd or 4th round. Then you'd be like, okay, he's chosen there, he has some potential, but you know, it's going to take some time before he reaches that potential. He might sit behind the quarterback. But Zach Wilson is the number 2 overall pick. Number 2, mind you. And it's not all his fault. He should have been drafted this high. So this is part of the management's fault. So they're part of the blame. But let's be honest. Everybody's defending this kid. They're saying, whoa, Peyton Manning struggled his first year. And I'm like, come on, guys. When you usually say that about a player, that means, I'm not saying his whole career is going to be bad, but that first year is terrible. Because you don't got nothing good to say. Everybody else maybe at training camp, you hear about Justin Fields, oh man, he's tremendous. You hear about Trey Lance, oh, he's a superstar. We can't wait to Trey Lance start. They just waiting to ship off Jimmy G. Like, if they could start Trey Lance this year, they would do it. But they're gonna sit Trey Lance probably just to have him get some more experience. But with Zach Wilson, they threw out stats about Zach Wilson. 11 for 21, 2 interceptions, in 7 or 8 possessions, he did not score. When have we ever, from a top quarterback, seen this? Never. And everybody's up there nice, and I know it's not his fault, but I gotta tell the truth, because I'm a Giants fan. When Daniel Jones was drafted 8, people were going in. They didn't care about Daniel Jones being a nice kid. They was like, well, he shouldn't have been drafted this high. This is management's fault. This Daniel Jones is a bust. He's trash. Before he even played the game, this thing in training camp, mind you. We didn't even get to training camp. But he's looked good so far. Only problem that Daniel Jones really has is fumbling. If he can shore that up, then he could be a pretty good quarterback in this league. But this is management's fault. You see a guy in the draft. I know you didn't have Trevor Lawrence because you didn't have the first pick. That's okay. You see Justin Fields. And I don't know why Justin Fields dropped, but you obviously know Justin Fields is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. You pass on him. You see Trey Lance. After watching Trey Lance's pro day, I knew this man was going to be nice. He hasn't played a game. I know this man's going to be nice. I see he was working on his fundamentals. And you chose Zach Wilson. This is you guys' fault. You can't blame anybody else. And now everybody wants to blame, oh, well, it's the coach's fault. The coach, you got a defensive coach, so Zach Wilson's going to struggle. Well, he didn't tell you to draft Zach Wilson. I'm pretty sure the Jets defense looked pretty good last year, and I'm pretty sure it's going to look good this year. He's not going to be the issue on the team. This is not his fault. And then, all right, let's go to the players. Oh, well, you got bums. Everybody's a bum. Wide receivers a bum. Offensive line's a bum. Assistant coaches bums. I'm like, when have we ever did this from any other team when a quarterback was drafted? We ain't even looking at management. They just saying the player. I've never seen them tack all the players. All the players bum. So what about the first round draft picks? What about the guy Elijah Moore, who's the top wide receiver in the draft? Is he a bum? Is everybody trash? That's a lie. Because even the worst organizations have good players. Even the Browns, when they were terrible, they had Pro Bowlers. They just didn't know how to put it together. This is their fault. They drafted Sam Darnold. They failed with that, and then they decided to get a Sam Darnold-like player. And if it doesn't work out, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna be like, all right, well, it didn't work out. It's the coach's fault. We fired the coach. And they're like, all right, the coach is trash. And then you bring another guy in there, and it's like, wait a minute. It's not the coach's fault. And then I'm like, well, let's look at Zach Wilson. It's Zach Wilson's fault. Let's get rid of Zach Wilson. And you know, it shouldn't even be a problem. It shouldn't be an issue. You got to stop scapegoating your players and your coaches. You got to stop setting them up for failure. When it's time to draft, ask your coach, because he is the coach. He's the person who's going to be working with these players. Ask him what player does he want. And if he says Zach Wilson, fine, you get Zach Wilson. That is his input. I mean, then if it doesn't work out, that is more of his fault than it's yours. But if he says get Trey Lance, and you're like, oh, I don't want Trey Lance, I'm going to get Zach Wilson. And then you're like, all right, he gets Zach Wilson, and then it doesn't work out. Then you look at him and be like, it's his fault we're getting rid of you. You can't do that. They got to stop doing it. They've been doing that for years. They saw the Sam Darnold project didn't work out. And like I said before, they got a Sam Darnold-like player. And I mean, you saw it didn't work out, so why would you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result? That's insanity. That's the definition. So it's very possible the Jets may win no games this season. Like, it's pretty bad when you can look down a team schedule and you can say L, that's an L, that's an L, that's an L, L, another L, another L, another. If you can do that, bro, you know you're a bad team. If you, and I'm not a Jets fan, I'm a Giants fan. But I've had seasons when I look at a Giants schedule, I'm like, bro, well, this is gonna be a tough year. Like, you know, we got a pretty hard schedule. Our team's no good. Well, I hope I'm wrong, but it ain't looking so good. And that's probably gonna be the Jets season this year. They have failed with their management organization. The management has failed. So they have failed as an organization because the ownership brings in the management. So to have a winning team, you can't, you know what I mean? It has to be from management up. So management has to be good, the owner has to be good, the coaching staff has to be good, and the players have to be good. But we got to stop putting these guys in these bad positions and expecting them to succeed. And that's what's going on. But we also have to tell the truth. If you do draft a player and he is drafted high, he's expected to be great. He's expected to excel at his position. And Zach Wilson, I hope the kid does good, but I just don't think he's going to excel with the Jets. I think he needs time to develop. I think when he was in college, he had I didn't even know he was a player until the draft. That's pretty bad. And then when we saw his team's highlights or his conference, it was like, bro, what conference is he playing in? The Walmart League? He's playing in Division III. He's playing against guys like me. And you look at me, you know, I'm not a football player. So it's just pretty bad. And sometimes you can be Division I and play guys who you can play teams or running the teams that are not very good. So that says it all. So I'm just saying, man, they got to stop doing this. They got to stop doing this. The Jets look bad. And it's the reason why some franchises are just bad organizations. And before you look at it, you're like, well, maybe they just had bad looks. They never had top picks. But eventually you go around and you just look, you're like, well, they suck for a reason. Like a couple years ago before the Browns started winning and go to the playoffs, they traded for a player and the trade didn't go through because they were too busy celebrating. So that just shows you how bad organizations are, and the Jets are one of those organizations. Until they learn from their mistakes, then they won't become a better franchise. Like the Bears, what do? They say, all right, we got Mitch Trubisky, we got him over Deshaun Watson, we drafted him over Pat Mahomes. That was a mistake. We failed. So what we do this time? We go get Justin Fields. We get a different type player. We get somebody who we think this time can succeed. We actually scout. Because if you look at the Bears organization, their team, I mean, they don't have the best team, but they always had a decent team. The defense is really good. It's been really good for a couple of years. Their running game is kind of solid. The passing game, and they had like Allen Robinson. I don't think he's up. I don't know if he's up there anymore, but it was okay. Only thing that was really bad was the quarterback. I think one year or the last couple of years, their defense has been carrying them to near the playoffs. They ain't always been in the playoffs, but they've been near or close to the playoffs just because they had a solid team. But the only thing they was missing is the quarterback. So that is my take, and that is the truth about Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Are you a New York Jets fan? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm going too hard on New York Jets and their organization? You know what I mean? You can be like, oh, he's a hater. He's a Giants fan. But you can say that, but we got more rings than the Jets. So you can say what you want. We've obviously been a better organization the last couple of years than the Jets. But sometimes you got to look, or are you going to be that fan who's going to look inside himself and see, you know what? Maybe he's telling the truth. We have been bad for a couple of years. And I mean, teams know the truth because they talk about their team all the time. Only time people get mad when their team's talked about or criticized when other people do it. But they do the same thing. They'll go, oh, well, offensive line is trash. Well, our quarterback is trash. Well, our GM is cheap. And then when someone else do it, well, no, he's not that bad. He's a good player. But you've been trashing that guy forever. You wanted to get rid of him and trade him forever. So that's pretty much it for the video, man. Outside of that, you guys got to make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm out.